I have guested on her show on Odyssey and the BetQL network, and now she comes on my show. Trysta Krick joining Kyle and I here, Willard and Dibbs, on a Super Bowl Friday. Trysta, how you doing? Glad to have you.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here.
She really is. I don't think she's lying.
No, she better not be lying, because when I was on her show, she openly said to me, "You got to get me on your show." And I said, absolutely. The couple days before the Super Bowl would be the best time, and now here we are, Trysta, reunited, and it feels actually quite
so good.
It feels all right.
Good, yeah.
It feels fine. Geez.
Do you want me to hang up on you or no?
No, I want you to bring the fire, and I also want you to explain when you became such a diehard Golden State Warriors fan.
My whole life.
Number one Dubs fan.
It's so great. Born
Gold
into
blood
it.
in her veins.
I get that. Kyle was telling me the story about some tweet that you apparently came over the top on and had to do a mea culpa on the whole thing.
Well, some might say that was the reason that our Dubs went 9-1 to start the year. That level of extra motivation. Sometimes it comes in the form of very mild takes that seem like disrespect. And that is pretty much the exact reason that I made the video, is because really the fact that was such an outrageous comment tells you everything that you know and need to know about our Dubs fan base.
I love it. Gold-blooded. She is a lifelong Dubs fan, according to her Twitter profile. Sports betting personality from Odyssey and also from WFAN.
Yeah, shout out. You're down there. Are you still in Arizona?
I am. Just after I get off the phone with you, they're going to kick me out of this room. I've got to go to a new hotel room near the airport, so that's a fun one.
Are you going to go to the game?
Absolutely not. No chance. I did that Super Bowl 51 through 55, it was, and it's not really a fun event to see live. I know that sounds crazy, that sounds entitled, but it's an event made for TV, especially the halftime show. I am so excited to see Bad Girl Riri come down, probably from the rafters, and do some crazy stuff. I wouldn't want to see that in the arena, because you just don't really get what they're trying to do from a production standpoint. And the game, I think football in general is better watched on TV, unless you're in I don't know. I don't actually know a scenario where it's better. But obviously watching with fans and tailgating with fans, that vibe is good. But the actual watching football is much better on TV.
Have you placed any props on Bad Girl Riri's halftime show?
So I like Bitch Better Have My Money a lot. I think the line changed quite a bit. I believe a couple of days ago it was plus 1,200 to be the first song. Now I was on Zaslo's show in Miami just before I came on with you guys, and it's now plus 165. I don't know what kind of offshore account he's looking at.
Wow.
But Bad Girl Riri to do Bitch Better Have My Money, to me, is what I am hoping for. I think that is a shot across the bow to Beyonce announcing her tour in the middle of Riri's moment, if you will.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Please don't come after me, Beehive. I love Beyonce just as much, but this is Riri's time. So why don't we go dark for a little while and let Riri have everything? And so if I was to do that, I would play Bitch Better Have My Money.
As a first song, that's a bold play, because normally you want to ease into the water, especially with Middle America tuning in. I thought maybe like a little Umbrella Ella Ella might be, considering the rain we've had this year, might be a more appropriate opener.
You're right, but doesn't that feel like not her style?
Yeah.
To play by the rules, Like, I just don't see her. Remember when The Weeknd did the halftime show? And they were like, hey, Mr. Weeknd, could you guys not do any of the songs about drugs? And then he came out with Can't Feel My Face. That was
all of his songs.
That was about a trip to the dentist, I thought. Yeah, root canal.
Yeah, that's what he said. It was all of the trazodone that he had.
Gotcha. Well, from Bad Girl Riri and trazodone to actual football. Before we get into the props, Trysta, let's just talk about the side. Who wins the game, and what do you think about the over-under for this Super Bowl?
So I played Chiefs +3 when it first opened. I bought the half a point minus 130. I haven't done anything since. Probably don't want to. This game's going to be really close. The matchup's fascinating. You've got one of the best offensive lines in football, Philadelphia Eagles, and best D-line. versus obviously Pat Mahomes, and you're going to try to make things uncomfortable for him. Jalen Hurts is no slouch, but I think the real key to this game is, can Hassan Reddick get to Pat Mahomes? Can he basically do what he did to Trent Williams and treat him like wet tissue paper? I think if he can do that to Trent Williams, he can do that to the Kansas City Chiefs tackles, right? So if Pat Mahomes doesn't get things going fast, the game's going to get out of hand. If he does get moving fast and he can get some quick completions to Travis Kelce, they can get things going on the ground, then the Chiefs can win. But I can't forecast whether or not my man Pat Mahomes is going to see ghosts. So I have a real hard time forecasting the side there. And the total. It feels like it's an under game, but frankly, both these offenses can go bananas at any time. So I'm like all in on props, mostly. I think I have 35 props.
35 props. Wow. Before we get into all 35, and I was going to ask you for your top 30
I'm going to parlay all 35.
Serious. I wonder what that would pay. But what's the prop that you think that you have an insight on that maybe is one you can give to the good people here in the Bay Area, considering what a Warriors fan you are?
Yeah, for our Dubs fans need to make a little extra money. Pacheco under 48.5 rushing yards is probably the one that I'm not hearing given out. I like the Gainwell prop a lot, but I hear that a lot. I'm hearing that as maybe one of the most public props on the market, 19.5 rushing yards. So I'm not going to give that out. Isaiah Pacheco under 48.5 rushing yards. I like it a lot. Here's why. Jerick McKinnon's going to be in on pass blocking. That's what he's going to do. Pat Mahomes is going to need to have some more protection, and that's what Jerick McKinnon does really well. Pacheco doesn't block. So those opportunities are going to come for Jerick McKinnon and less for Pacheco. Under 48.5, I've hammered. That was one of my first bets that I played.
I have sat here my entire life and watched Travis Kelce dominate, and every year I go, well, he's not going to do it again. And he keeps on doing it. So am I crazy to just hammer all the Travis Kelce overs?
The number 7.5 scares me just slightly, and it's juiced to the under. Now, I would not play the under because Travis Kelce can go bananas and get 12 catches, and none of us would be surprised.
Right.
But I do worry about him getting just 7 catches. And so if you can get, there's a bunch of different places that you can shop around, right? If you can get a 6.5, I think a 6.5 is a lock. I think 7 catches is the absolute minimum that Kelce gets in order for the Chiefs to stay in it. But he could get like 13. The number for his yardage is 78. 78.5. I think he had 78 receiving yards last game. So Vegas is getting very sharp on Travis Kelce. I think the move is Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. Sprinkle some money on first touchdown at plus 650. So $100 wins you $650. And then I actually did a prop or a anytime touchdown parlay, and it's Kelce, Jalen Hurts, and Boston Scott, who is a postseason red zone god. Anytime touchdowns for all three of them. That's 20-1.
Wow.
That's great for
I love
a 3-person parlay. One more for me, and I know Kyle's got at least one more. Super Bowl MVP odds. I got my eye on a wild card, Hassan Reddick, 33-1. You got anything else in the MVP market, Trysta?
That's my favorite one. Hassan Reddick MVP is my favorite one. I think Chris Jones is interesting, but I like Hassan Reddick a lot more. Hassan Reddick, if he goes bananas, you guys have probably Hassan Reddick PTSD, don't you?
Oh, big time. Big time.
Yeah. So a little bit for Kyle, just like a little bit.
I'm thinking of betting the Kyle Juszczyk over 7.5 receiving yards on Sunday. Trysta, your thoughts?
Yeah. You know what? So your producer calls me. He kind of sounds like Kyle on the phone, and he's like all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, probably excited that he's calling someone for a guest. And he's like, hello, Trysta? And I was like, no, this is Kyle Juszczyk. And he goes, what? And I go, this is Kyle Juszczyk. And he goes, are you sure? Are you sure this is Kyle Juszczyk? It's not Trysta Krick? And I started to laugh, and he goes, you probably think this is Kyle Madsen. It's not. It's another producer. And I was like very embarrassed. So now you guys have my embarrassment on the air live.
It's perfect.
That's great.
Apparently the two of you have a history with Kyle Juszczyk and an over-under.
Yeah.
So Kyle gave me out. What was the game? Do you remember, Kyle?
I think it was Niners Seahawks, because I gave you the whole explanation about why George Kittle was going to dominate, and then he did.
Yes. Yeah, so it was hey, which props do you like, Kyle? I'm thinking about doing CMC, Kittle, blah, blah. He did give me this very long explanation, and then he goes, with that being said, I always hammer Kyle use check props. They're very low. You can get them at 3.5, 4.5 yards. So I added into my parlay, and the only thing that doesn't hit, and it's like 7 legs, the only thing that doesn't hit at 25-1 is Kyle use check. And I immediately got into the DMs, and I'm like, damn you, Kyle, I'm never listening to you again.
The over-under was 7.5. He caught a 7-yard pass and didn't touch the ball again.
And that's it, yeah.
It was brutal.
Those use check props can be sticky. Trysta, thanks for joining us. Best of luck on the hotel switch, and we'll revisit this again soon.
You guys are. We didn't even talk about you guys getting Gary Payton back.
I was gonna ask what are your
we got Gary Payton back, Trysta.
We got him back.
Thank you.
We got him.
Come on. Our Dubs got our beloved Gary Payton the second back.
Championship window back open.
Yep.
Seriously though, what were your thoughts when you saw James Wiseman moved ostensibly for GP2?
Vindication. Really, I've been saying James Wiseman wasn't the one. I'm one of the only hardcore, lifelong Dubs fans that's willing to stand 10 toes on that. And I thought James Wiseman was tested. Now he's going to be tested in Detroit as the center for the Pistons, which makes me, I don't know, I feel like now somehow Bob found a way to convince Joe Lacob that, listen, man, this is just never going to work. We need someone who can help us now. Steph's injured. We're in the middle of the standings. We're just trying to survive here. Let's stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. Let's just move him.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting move. Also, kind of wild that you could have just had them both. Could have just re-signed Gary Payton for the money that the Blazers did. But now, mea culpa.
Yeah, and with that luxury tax bill, it would have cost Joe Lacob an extra $150 million. But hey, it's his money, so who really cares, right?
Yeah, let him go. Or you could have had Gary Payton and then traded James Wiseman for someone else.
Yeah.
Like Sadiq Bey.
Exactly.
Like Sadiq Bey. Exactly.
That'd have been a fun team.
Trysta, thank you for joining us. Trysta Krick, Odyssey Sports Betting Insider, and from the BetQL Network. Best of luck on all 36 of your props.
Yeah, 36. That's where we're at.
All the best. I
love it. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Talk to you soon. Trysta